BlueCat Adaptive Failover Package provides network teams the flexibility to manually control or automate server failover when an outage is detected. First, we will look at the option for manual failover by looking at the Address Manager failover component. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the replication. So you're going to notice that we have currently 3 address managers in replication with each other, so they're all nice in a package. You can see some data. Everything's moving along swimmingly. Now we're going to take a look at the initial status. You can see that 125 is master, 130 is standby, etc. In the background with some video magic, I am going to turn off the primary. So 125 is now off, and it is waiting for the status to come back so I can execute the failover. And I'm going to hit that execute button, and with a little more video magic, it's going to do its job. So you see the failover complete message down at the bottom. Now we're going to log into one of the previous secondaries and take a look at the replication status. All of this happens underneath the covers, so it's nothing that you have to intervene yourself with. You can have it automated. You can, we showed the manual, but you can also do the automated piece of it and allow it to do it under the covers for you. Now you can see at this point that the servers are now in replication, so you now have the primary and the secondary, and you can pick up right where you left off. Now, we'll take a look at automating DNS Master Failover when an outage is detected. I currently have 2 BDDSs configured, BDDS1, BDDS2, BDDS1 being the .204 and BDDS2 being the .205. I'm going to navigate into BDDS1 and take a look at the roles we have configured. The first thing I want to note is this failover preference. You see it's set to 1. We'll get back to that in a few minutes. But if we take a look at the roles, you notice we have a few zones that are set as master, and then deployment options are fully configured for the server. So this server is a fully functioning BDDS ready to rock and roll. Take a look at BDDS2. This is our warm standby. Notice the failover preference of 0. Again, we'll come back to that in a minute. But there's no roles and only one inherited deployment option. So we're fully configured and ready for failover. Now, DNS Master Failover is fully headless. What that means is it's going to do the monitoring in the background and the automated failover for you. So what's happening is through the magic of editing, I've shut the server down. It has triggered its failover, so you can see that just before. And now we're going to take a look at the BDDS2. You can now notice that BDDS2, after the primary has gone down, it now has the roles and the options from BDDS1, and it's all ready to go. So it is a warm standby, ready to rock. Now, I mentioned those failover preferences. Your secondary might be something akin to a spare tire. You don't have a full-powered secondary for you, just something to get you along until your primary comes back online. This is where failover preference comes in. One of the cool parts about this feature is what it does is when it detects that the primary comes back online with that failover preference set to 0, it will actually bring the primary back to where it was before. So once it detects that the primary is back online, which is BDDS1, it'll figure out that it needs to reset it, and it will actually reset the statuses and do everything to bring it back to the original configuration. That way you can have your full-powered BDDS online at most times, and your secondary BDDS that is less powerful offline when not working when you don't need it. So you can see now that it has switched roles, and if we take a look back at Address Manager and we go back to BDDS2, it doesn't have any roles anymore, and we go back to BDDS1. Take a look at the roles. It's now back up and running. Thanks for watching. Please visit BlueCatNetworks.com to learn more.